Ooh, wasabi, guys. If you can't already tell by the tone, this is going to be a funny video. Now, I have had a lot of people asking me just what exactly is going on with the whole rules committee, the judge committee, whatever you want to call it. A bunch of judges came together and they run all the rules, the bans for Commander. It's kind of funny. It's sort of like their way of sticking it to Wizards of the Coast. Hey, you're going to rebrand it as Commander. We still have the rules. But what they've done lately, it's quite interesting. There is a temporary ban list update. It's on MTG Salvation. You have to basically get all your news from here. Instead of actually on Wizards of the Coast or Magic the Gathering website, you have to find your news through MTG Salvation, which is kind of weird. But anyway, here's where this post starts off here. It's a temporary ban list update for December 1st, 2017. Unstable looks like a blast. Shenanigans everywhere. If only there was a casual focused format dedicated to fun and silliness to play them in. Hey, wait, we have one of those. So right off the bat, they're just saying, hey, Commander is already casual, so why not just make it even more casual by throwing in all these crazy cards with all these crazy abilities? I get where you're coming from, however, most people who want to play with these cards play with them and they just ask for permission from their playgroups, and they'll throw in a couple of these uncards like from Unglued and Unhinged. I've seen it before. If your playgroup is super casual, you usually don't have to worry about these cards actually being legal in the format. It's when you go to tournaments at your local game stores and they have like Commander days and stuff like that that you would have to be concerned about what you're putting in your deck. As far as that goes, yeah, it's a casual format, but not super duper casual, that you can just do whatever you want with no rules or structure. Okay, anyway, I digress. It continues. Until the next ban list announcement, which is January 15th, so over a month from now, silver bordered cards are legal in Commander. Yes, you heard that right. Dust off those fruitcake elementals and unleash the insanity. It's time to celebrate Unstable. So I'm guessing silver bordered cards are also going to consider the holiday cards that they do for, they'll like have Christmas themed cards. I think that's cool. Those are also silver bordered. Anyway, the following cards are banned. They have rules that span multiple games, which is problematic for single game multiplayer, are variants of cards already banned, or too nightmarish for even us to contemplate. So right off the bat, they're admitting that a lot of these cards are just not meant for constructed formats. They're too chaotic. These sets are specifically meant to be drafted with other cards from the same set. It's not meant to be, okay, here you throw that into a constructed format, because there's rules, there's order in a constructed format. Unstable, Unhinged, Unglued, the whole purpose of these sets were to be fun, be crazy, because all the cards in the set were fun and crazy. So you have Ashnod's Coupon, Double Cross, Double Deal, Double Dip, Double Play, Double Take, Enter the Dungeon, Magical Hacker, Mox Lotus, which is the one that gives you just a crazy amount of mana, infinite mana to be exact. Once more with Feeling, R&D Secret Lair, Richard Garfield, Staying Power, and Time Machine. I don't really know what a lot of these cards do. I don't really take the time to research unstable cards, unhinged, unglued cards. I think they're all kind of, they're fun, they're cool, I like it, but again, this is the whole problem with this whole idea. If they decide to make it permanent, which I doubt they will, having to keep track of all the rulings and interactions between these cards, it's going to be a pain. So it continues here with, you should be careful with the following cards. They work okay within the framework of Commander. So they give you a list of a bunch of other cards here that they're saying you should be cautious because they're going to make your playgroup a little angry at you or something like that. I don't know if they're, here it's very ambiguous here with all the cards from Unglued and Unhinged, and I'm guessing that's what they're looking at so far. I don't know if any of these cards are from Unstable, but very interesting just to hear what they say about this. They work okay within the framework of Commander, so we aren't going to ban them, but are likely to give your playgroup a headache or lead to problematic games if you're not careful. Use them responsibly, and remember that if you're playing cards your opponents don't enjoy playing against, they probably won't want to play with you anymore. Well, I think that's a given. I think you can expect that with using any card that's going to frustrate your opponents. And I honestly think that a lot of these cards are going to frustrate your opponents because they just never seen them before. Because, again, a lot of unhinged, unglued cards are very unknown. See what I did there? But yeah, honestly, most people are going to have to read these cards and just go, what the hell is this? Are you serious? Are you actually going to be like that and just play one of these random cards because you can? So these cards that they want you to be cautious about is Akhan's Run. I don't know what these cards are. Collector, Protector, Incoming, Infernal Spawn of Evil. Johnny Combo Player, I know what that one is. I think everybody knows what the Combo Player is. Mirror Mirror, Topsy Turvy, yet another Vortex. And continues on here with, personally, I recommend avoiding the gotcha cards as they are a fast way to lose friends. But they are not terribly broken in the wider context of silver borders unless you use them to collude. But if you're doing that, you've missed the point entirely. Again, this is a political game. This is a political format. Collusion is to be expected. Contraptions don't count against your 99, so you can have a contraption deck on the side, same thing like you would in the draft. The correct thing to do is to put one of every one of them into your contraption deck, but that is up to you. Make sure you have at least 15. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a singleton format. Why not make the contraptions also singleton? Finally, for all of you who are falling over themselves to play with Spike, Tournament Grinder, for those of you that don't know, it's the one that lets you play banned cards. Please remember that Rule 13 exists, so I'm guessing that's you have to follow the ban list or something, I guess. And she only functions under whatever rules the rest of your playgroup sets for her, so just like all the other unhinged, unstable cards, I guess. We hope people will use these cards in the spirit in which they are intended. Go have a good time, and summon lots of squirrels. The Earl demands it. There's a card called Earl of Squirrel, if you don't know. And, 2 days ago, we have sort of a post, because a lot of people, justifiably, they had questions about this. As we expected, there's been a lot of strong reactions, both positive and negative, to the uncelebration. How about calling it unnecessary? There's your unset. Thanks to all of you who have kept this discourse civilized. We think it'll be a fun 6 weeks. Well, that's what we're hoping. However, we decided that we need to ban an additional card. Really? Nerf War isn't problematic mechanically, and we figured that we didn't need to tell people that they were responsible for making sure not to damage other people's cards. So you actually had people bringing in a Nerf gun and just shooting at the tops of people's decks, and whatever cards they knock off, you deal half a damage to them or something like that. And I love it because there's like a reminder text that you have to use the foam darts. Oh God, it's so hilarious to consider the fact that someone wouldn't be using the foam darts. They would be using real darts and just shooting at someone's commander deck they've spent thousands of dollars on. God. However, we're seeing a lot of people planning a shock and awe approach to try and force a concession. So you're threatening to destroy their cards, and that's very much missing the spirit of the format. It's also a bit problematic encouraging people to run around game stores and conventions with gun-like objects, and so we feel like Nerf War needs to be removed. Oh gosh. Let's be clear on this. If you are looking for ways to damage an opponent's cards, either out of spite or a desire to get them to concede, we encourage your playgroup, local game store, or other organizer to take appropriate action to prevent this. While we have your attention, we want to clear up a few other pieces of speculation. First one here is, at no point did Wizards ask us to do this. When we told them the plan, they were supportive. But as normal, they left us to our own devices. Pretty much like they do with everything else with Commander. They just make the products, they just make the legendaries, whatever they feel like doing, and then the rules committee then decides, we're going to ban it or something like that, like they did with Leovold. And the second one here is, this is not a test or trial period. It's a chance to do something a little different for a few weeks, and then we'll go back to the usual Commander rules. So yeah, this isn't going to be permanent, and thank God for that. I think it's going to be very problematic, kind of a pain in the ass here for the next month or so, but hey, I doubt a lot of people are going to take it seriously. The only consequence after then, for the foreseeable future, is that a few playgroups may have discovered some cards they enjoy playing with. And then the last one here that they want you to know is, we have no interest in jeopardizing our various positions in the Magic community for a small short-term profit, and have made no effort to buy and sell silver-bordered cards cards to do so. Full disclosure, I picked up a HasCon promo set when they became available. So yeah, a lot of people have reasonable complaints about the rules committee when it comes to their power. We don't exactly know what they're doing. They don't really communicate that well. And Commander is such a popular format to where we need more than just this third party that has control over everything, and they don't really communicate that well. Yes, once a year, they tell us what cards need to be banned, why they're banned. It's usually just one card, and then they unban another card, likely. I honestly think, though, that if the rules committee, if they were a little bit more transparent with what they're doing, it would be a little bit better for the entire format if the rules committee were a little bit more transparent with what they're doing. So yes, they're just going to try to dismiss all claims that they're investing in cards that are banned and then unbanning them, not saying anything for sure, but yeah, they've had to deal with this claim for a long time now. But anyway, this was unnecessary. I think it's kind of cool, though, when you think about it. For a couple months, legally, you can play these silver bordered cards. It's going to be crazy and hectic, but at least we get to play Grimlock as Commander now. I think that's very interesting. I would still consider playing him even once all the cards get banned again, but still, if you're going to play these uncards, you're likely going to play them anyway in a very casual play group. I don't think anyone has a problem with that, as long as the cards don't involve some sort of stupid interaction that you can unrealistically expect other people to go along with. Like, say, throwing your cards around the table, shooting darts at someone's deck. I think that's ridiculous. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know if you are considering making any decks using these cards. But you guys have a wonderful day. Void here signing off.